You are looking at a 1988 Williams Jokerz System 11 pinball machine. Now overall, this particular Jokerz pinball machine is in that very good plus condition. If I have to give it a grade, I'd give it a solid B plus, maybe even an A minus. Starting with the cabinet has minimal wear on it. It looks fantastic for a roaded machine. There are a few small touch-ups on both sides, right here and here. It's almost like it got scuffed between two other pinball machines. There's a spot right here I noticed, but otherwise there wasn't much of anything else on this side of the cabinet. You'll notice the stuff on the other side when my camera person gets over there in the same spot, and then there's also a small touch-up on the corner of the machine in the front that I noticed, but it's a very, very good touch-up. It was matched really well, and I didn't notice it at first. I just noticed it when I was cleaning it. Other than that, there's a small spot on his hand. I'm really being nitpicky here because this one is in fantastic condition. The metal, the legs look brand new. I know the leg levelers are brand new because we put them on there before we put them in our game room. They do have felt left on them. We have like a pergo style floor in our game room. So if you have that style, it'll work great. If not, you might want to pull those off if you have carpeting. The metal on side rails, bright and shiny. The metal in the front is great, and the coin door looks fantastic. The only other thing I noticed about the cabinet is the start button labeling is starting to wear a little bit from people touching it over the years. And then it does have the traditional lockdown bar hole there, but there's a carriage bolt there, so you don't really notice it. Moving on to the actual playfield. The playfield is also in that very good plus to, that B plus, A minus category. It really is nice. Starting with the things that I noticed that, here again, I'm nitpicking a little bit, but some of the things I noticed that were wrong or blemishes is right where this lifts up. There's a small little blemish in the front and on the side. There's also a little bit of wear in the shooter lane. There is a little bit of yellowing to the upper playfield, and there's a little bit of spidering on the 4 bolts up here on the playfield and the one in the back. So the 4 bolts, but structurally it's A-okay. It doesn't go all the way through. It's more of a spidering of the plastic. The other thing is these pop bumper skirts. Now, for those not familiar what a pop bumper skirt is, it's the yellow skirts underneath. Once again, I'm really being nitpicky, but in their back of them, there's 2 small chips. They don't affect the way the ball functions, and you can't see them because of the upper playfield, so it's really hard to even look at them. But I noticed it when I had the playfield stripped apart. It wasn't enough for me to replace them. It involves taking the whole pump upper apart. It's not that big of a deal, but they really are pretty small, so I didn't want to mess around with it. The glass itself has a few small scratches on it, but overall it presents nicely. So what did we do to the playfield? Well, we stripped the whole thing down, and we went ahead and cleaned it with naphtha. That way you don't wreck the clear at all. And then from there, we did a little bit of Novus 2 polish, and then we followed it up with some Carnauba wax to wax it up. All the drop targets have been cleaned. Now, fairness and conversation, I didn't tear them completely apart like sometimes they do with the ones that are really gummed up. I just cleaned the plastics on them. They function fantastic, and they aren't gunky. The bottom of this machine is really clean. We went ahead and put new rubbers in the whole game, and so you don't have to worry about that. When I say we did this about 30 to 50 plays ago. So one of the things I enjoy is then having them for a little while after we do this and get them back up and running so we can enjoy them for a little bit. All the lighting, all the standard lighting has been converted to LED. So that's all been done as well in the back box and down here in the playfield. The flasher bulbs are still incandescent. With the exception of the ones that are hidden back here, you can't see them until the game is going. It involves taking apart this whole upper playfield, and I figured since I had it all apart, I'd use those back there, plus they're hidden so they don't blind you as much. But the standard incandescent flasher, what I've noticed, it's a little easier on the eyes. The LED ones, they're great with certain purposes, but realistically on the playfield, they almost give a blinding effect. So I try not to use them as much. Plus they don't get hot, the incandescent ones, because they're briefly on and then off, and they last forever. One more thing, the flippers themselves, we rebuilt these flippers. So, and this is our pinball cat, and I knew he was going to do this. He was going to get my video, and that's okay. Snugs, not today. You're not playing today, buddy. He'll be back up there. anyways, these flippers, we went ahead and completely rebuilt them. It's really important that you have real strong flippers on a game like Jokerz, because believe it or not, these two ramp shots are actually, they're kind of challenging to hit. So that includes end of stroke switches, that includes new coil sleeves, coil stops, and flipper bats themselves got replaced, and then obviously the rubbers and the linkages. So everything got replaced on there as well. Moving on to the back glass. Back glass is an overall very good condition. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. There's one small spot over here in the King's beard, and I think there might even be one other one. Once again, I'm really being nitpicky, and there's a slight tear on this. This is not a back glass, this is a translite. By the mid-'80s, pinball companies were kind of gravitating more towards translites. For those of you not familiar, think of it as a very fancy poster paper. You'll also notice this is an interactive game. We'll kind of get into that in a second here. I'm going to step over to the other side and I'm going to show you the electronics and some of the things we did with that as well. Didn't have to do too much to this one. It did come to me, had a few issues, particularly with the high power. Went ahead and rebuilt the power supply, put a new bridge rectifier in, always check the fuses, made sure that the fuses here are what are supposed to be in here. Same with the fuses down here. These are the right fuses for this, for each one of the slots. The transistor was bad on the high power side. As I said, put new caps on, new transistor, and then rebuilt the 5 volt as well with new caps. Then moving on over to the rest of the machine, didn't really have to touch anything else on the machine. And now I'm trying to remember if I replaced these caps as well. I think I did. I'm gonna go with yes, I think I did. That's a trust but verify, because like I said, I did this a little while ago, about 6 months ago, so I don't quite remember. I know I didn't do anything to the soundboard. Now this does have, if you really hear it closely, you'll hear that hum. That's the Williams System 11 hum. Every Williams System 11 I've ever had has got that hum. All my Data East have that same hum. Ironically, those boards copy the System 11s kind of. Bottom line up front, as soon as you start the game, the hum goes away. Gonna go to the interconnect board here real quick. Once again, move the battery box. That's something that you really want to do on all these machines. We got lucky this one had no corrosion, so we're good there. And even though this is moved down here, they're not that much more expensive, folks. Just buy the lithium batteries. It really helps too. I know it'd have a long way to go to if these started leaking and they were alkaline, but it's just added safety to put lithiums in. Plus they last longer. I'm gonna draw your attention to the interconnect board. You're gonna see three new connectors there, both male and female. And if you go down far enough, these color codes actually do still blend to the right color code, but I always add a little extra wire just for future use. These are almost always burnt up. I think it's J9, J10, and I believe it is, I can't remember if that's J7 or J9, I can't remember, but one of them is the power going in and the others are the GIs. With the old incandescent, these always get burnt up. In fact, most System 11s, I go right to that just to check them. I think every one I've ever worked on needs to have those replaced. Are they burnt enough where it's worth replacing them? So that's been done. The good news is with LEDs in here, you're never gonna have to worry about that again. And that's it in a nutshell. That's what we've done to this particular machine. And I'm gonna try to get this in here. This is always a pain in the behind. This is why I always debate, do I want to take this off during a video or don't I? There we go. All right, got her in there. All right, go ahead and shut her off. You can see the interactive wheel here. That all works as it's supposed to. Put this back glass in and we will talk about the game. Now, this is where I always give my caveat. I am a perfectly average pinball player and I'm going to explain to you how I have played this game and how I interpret the rule set. I am sure I'm wrong in some aspects, and I'm sure there are absolute experts that know how to play this game. I'm just going to show you how I played it and how I enjoyed playing it. So this particular game does have a skill shot when you first start the game off. I currently have this set to pre-play, but you're going to see the red lights fluctuate. And if you can get the ball down on those red lights, you'll get an extra amount of points. Now the other thing is, and this is a brand new spring, but this has got a normal shooter spring in it. You can get heavier duty ones. It really You really got to pull it all the way back to get it just into the center. If you miss, you're going to go down here. It happens. I think they had it set up that way. I'm speculating because I looked it up in the schematics and it didn't call for a higher pressure spring, but these are all plastic up here. This whole upper playfield's plastic. So I don't think they wanted it to have too much oomph so it's banging around and stuff at too high of a speed. If that's something that bothers you, we can swap out a higher spring, but I just wanted you to be aware that I put in what the machine originally had. I just put a newer one in. So you'll see that when I play it. I might even miss a shot or two. Once you're down here and your ball's in play, I also put brand new pop bumper caps on too. Forgot to mention that as well. But you have, it's kind of a standard fan layout a little bit, but you got the two orbits right here that go up to the second play field. These are actually kind of a challenge to hit. You got to hit them right on. If you don't, you're gonna bounce back. When you get up here, you light up those white lights there, and then from there you get you collect a bonus and you climb up your table bonus right up here as you collect all the cards, and that does have a lane change. You can move those over. Down below is your 2x, 3x, 4x multipliers. When you light those up, same deal. It's got a lane change on it. Little secret to the game, or not really a secret, but part of the game strategy is if you're having a hard time getting up here, you can always go and make this shot right here. It's going to drop into a kicker that kicks the ball out. When it does that, it awards you one of the cards up above. So if you're having a hard time getting up there when you first start playing the game, that's a good way to do it. Over here, you got your draw poker shot with the spinner. When you land into that kick out there, it will actually activate your backblast, which is super cool. And that gives you basically different, it'll give you a special extra ball. You can see it right up here. If you get a royal flush, you get a special 4 of a kind extra ball, full house, 250K, and then all the way down to 10,000 points. It's really a neat feature. Other thing is these drops. When it says million, it sounds just like my Comet. It'll go million, million. And when those drop, if you can get all 3 of them to drop on whatever one is flashing, you'll get an additional 1,000,000 points. Now, the key feature to this game, this is actually a multi-ball. And kind of the cool mech that it had is this ramp that goes up and down. Now, I put silicone red and white silicone in here because I think it looked better than the yellow. The yellow was your traditional rubber, and what I've noticed is you got to hit that right on now in order to trigger that, which isn't a bad thing because it makes the game a little bit more challenging. Before, it would kind of still skirt in there, but I think these silicone have a little bit more stick to the ball, and they'll kind of kick it out of the way a little bit, but you'll see when I play it. Anyways, that will raise the ramp up. Then from there, you lock your ball into there. If you do that twice, you'll get a 2-ball multi-ball with this game. When that happens, the ramp will raise. If you get the ball through this ramp 4 times during your multi-ball, and I think it's even timed during your multi-ball, you will win the progressive jackpot. I think every System 11 I've ever owned has a progressive jackpot. System 11 games are amazing. They are very modern, very reliable, but they can be still brutal, like an older game. Like there is no ball save on this if you drain your ball right away. You're just SOL. It's old school in that aspect, but they're fun to play. It's not going to be a 20-minute game like maybe some of the newer machines are. But anyways, you can win that progressive jackpot, and if you win 3-4 million points on this game, that's a lot of points. So now that we've gone through all that, if you've stayed with me this long, I'm going to go ahead and fire it up and we'll play a game.
Let the game begin.
It really has some fun call-outs too. And so you can see the ball gets up there just fine. It's just if you want a little bit more oomph, you'd have to put a heavier duty spring in it. But I would caution you. Well, and there you go, punishing game. I'm not gonna get a kicked out ball save. And that's it. I'm also terrible at pinball while talking. Oh, rough game. So you could see the flashers, the LED ones in the back going off.
Double your score.
That's another neat feature. On your third ball, you have 20 seconds to hit both the left and right orbit to double your score. My score's terrible. Now you know how brutal the game can be. We're gonna play another game. But if you can get them both, which is very hard, you'll actually double your score.
Let the
Wouldn't be
game
anything I'd
begin.
want to brag about with that score. Let's see if I can actually do something now. Whew, might have to take the glass off and cheat. Wow, I am just bricking everything. You know what's funny is I practiced this early evening, and I was having some pretty good games. We're gonna play one more game. That's hideous.
Let the game begin.
Okay, well, you know what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna take the glass off and we're gonna cheat, so you can actually see the functionality of the game. This is awful. I have not played this bad in a very long time. I'm just gonna chalk it up to the pressure of video recording. Okay, so we're gonna do this the Todd Tucky way. All right, so we're gonna go down. Oh, I missed it already. We're gonna go down there, and then we're gonna go ahead and hit the ramp. We're gonna go ahead and lock that ball in. Kick out another ball. We're gonna go up. We're gonna go ahead and drop it down this one. I'm about as bad at cheating as I am at playing.
Draw
So you're gonna
poker.
see it go ahead and draw the poker there. And then you'll see your award. So we got awarded an extra ball. And we're gonna go ahead and get that shot, or attempt to. There we go. There we go. You'll see it awarded a card up there which completed the cycle. Even when I'm cheating, it's hard to get up these ramps. All right, well, we don't want to break it. Up the ramp it goes. And then we're going to go ahead and hit that one more time. And now we're going to start that multi-ball.
Joker's wild.
Now these are going to come out. We're going to go ahead and win that jackpot so you can see it win. So you get a certain amount of time. Usually not this easy. There you go. You won the jackpot and a free game. Let's see if I can trigger the million shot as well. That's lit. There we go. I'll have a little fun with it.
We are playing.
All right, so we're gonna see what. Oh, shoot. We're gonna do it real quick, and it awarded it before the ball drained. All right, that was not the way I normally play a pinball machine, but I just wanted you to get a feel that everything worked on it, everything was functional on it, and you kind of got to see the gameplay on it. So once again, that is a 1988 Williams Jokerz, and if you stuck with me this long, I appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot.